The other day we had a letter sent to the CEO, Franklin Templeton. It was a handwritten note in the mail.
I'm Isabel Flores. I am 8 years old, 8.5 years old, because when you're 8, that half matters a lot.
And it turned out to be from a little girl who lives around the corner. She wrote in her letter, "Dear Jenny Johnson, there's this plot of land that I was wondering if you would give it to me because I want to get a horse." And I thought, Jenny may not even have time to read this.
And I'd be very thankful if you gave me the land, because for me, that would be a dream come true.
Jenny not only wanted to write back, she shared a really beautiful story.
I knew we couldn't give the land away. And having been a person that always wanted a horse, I completely understood sort of where she was coming from. I told her that I had always wanted a horse too, and that I didn't get a horse until I was in my 40s, but I had to work really hard, and that she should focus on school and continue to work really hard. And then I sent her pictures of my horse.
She didn't have to take the time to write that little girl back. And it was like this beautiful letter, and I'm like, Jenny, you know, that's the kind of thing she does.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
When I came in and actually started working for Franklin, I think my title was Executive Administrative Coordinator. And who knows, I did whatever special projects kind of came around.
I've been working with Jenny since 2003. I've been her executive assistant for 18 years. She started in 1988. This was her grandfather's company, and she really made it a point and worked very, very hard to try to get her family business to do well. And she found a way to work at the bank and to get involved with the different aspects, and she wanted to learn everything she could about Franklin Templeton.
I'm Matthew Nichols, and I'm the CFO of Franklin Templeton. I think it's not just how she runs the company, it's her involvement in where the future of the industry is heading.
I'm passionate about this business. I think that asset management companies have such a purpose of really helping people achieve the goals that are hardest in their lives. Every day I wake up and feel energized by our mission. We're going to celebrate, I think, 75 years. I'm proud of what this company has been able to do.
Kevin Johnson, played in the NBA, Phoenix Suns, was a former mayor of Sacramento, and a friend of Jenny Johnson. If I was to try to maybe use 1 or 2 key words that describe her character, which gets at her starting at a young age at the bottom and working her way up, it's humility, and she's tenacious. One day we were talking and I asked her, you know, what's on your bucket list? And she was like, oh God, I've always dreamt of being a waiter or waitress in a restaurant one day. And I said, Jenny, you're not gonna believe this. We just opened a restaurant up in Sacramento. And I thought she'd say, absolutely not. She's like, great, sign me up. Watching her, you know, wait on tables. She's taking notes and paying attention. I was just like, man, her attention and determination to do anything well, it doesn't matter what it is. But what she didn't know is we set up and planted a table of difficult customers for her. This goes on, and they kept giving her such a hard time, and she did not lose her composure at all. I go over there and I look at her and she's like, I'm trying. In front of them, right? I said, I just want to let you know we planted this table. And she's like, oh my goodness. And she just broke down, she hugged them, and it's just who she is. The humility and the tenacity at the same time going together to try to make a difference. So she's legendary even in Sacramento restaurant fixings as a server.
She just became our CEO. I believe February 11th was her first day of 2020. And on February 18th, I believe, we announced a merger with another company. So we had a big announcement, big company merger. And then the pandemic kind of hits March 14th. So she just became the CEO, and a month later, she is handling this worldwide pandemic. All the offices everywhere are closed, and she is now like steering the ship.
Jenny led with a lot of confidence, and I think that was the key thing. People could see that across the company, both in terms of Franklin Templeton legacy and the firm that we were going to acquire, and I think they were the key characteristics that gave everybody the confidence that, well, we have a great leader here and we're going to make it through this.
My name is Michelle Rhee Johnson, and I am the former chancellor of the Washington, D.C. Public Schools, and now I consult across a number of different areas. There's a term that has been coined recently. It's a girl boss, right? So a woman who just is like unapologetic, right? Aggressive, get the job done, doesn't worry about kind of how she's being perceived, et cetera. And I think that the kids would call her like an OG girl boss, right? One of the originals.
She's involved with nonprofits. She's involved with boards, hospital boards, and medical, like Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. She just wants to do it all, and she wants to give everyone her time.
So one story that I have about Jenny that I think really illuminates her personality was one of the first times that we were doing something together. So she was sitting on the board of a nonprofit organization that I was running, which my husband talked her into doing. He's like, oh, we really need you to sit on this board. She said, look, I've got so many commitments, right? I'm like, my plate is full. And he's like, no, we really need you to do this. So she sort of grudgingly came on board, but it was an education-related nonprofit. So she says to me, okay, I don't know this stuff in and out like you do, so I'm not gonna be, weighing in. You do that, but I'm gonna sit there quietly. By the third meeting, she basically was running the entire thing, right? And just was so committed to this idea of educational equity. The passion and the motivation that she had to make sure that every single kid ultimately could live the kind of life that she has because they got a high quality education. You can't fake that sort of thing.
Let me straighten it. Oh my God!
My name's Suzanne Scovern, and I am Jenny's partner. We've been together for about 11 years. First and foremost, she would say she's a mom. Everyone always characterizes her as, a very high-powered kind of CEO. But I think her most important feature that I see and her most attentiveness of her personality is being a good mom, very present for her kids.
I always say when people ask how do you balance these things, I say that the trick I use is I think if I have a conflict on time, I'll think out, okay, 5 years from now when I look back, which of those two will be more important to me? And often you get clarity as to where you should spend your time.
She has 5 kids, and those kids right now are between 19 and 30. And since I've known her kids are always her first priority. And I'm talking like back when her daughters were in AYSO soccer, she wanted to be the soccer coach. She was like very, very busy, and I thought, how is she supposed to be coaching the soccer team 2 times a week, but we made it work. She said, put all these practices on my calendar and we're gonna do this, and we just worked around it, and she wanted to be on that field with her daughters when they were young.
So I'm Cameron.
I'm Mary.
Katie.
Jill. And we got really lucky because she travels so much. We ended up getting to go to a lot of places.
She was doing a bunch of stuff in India and took the whole family. We lived in India for 6 months.
When I was in elementary school, I went to her and I was like, Mom, the science fair is tomorrow and I don't have a project. And I get in bed and I wake up the next morning, the full volcano is done, it's working, it's flowing, stuff out of it. And that's just the kind of person she is.
My full name is Christopher Charles Bolt. I am Jennifer Johnson's son. I live in West Palm Beach in Florida, where I'm starting a rum distillery called Revenge Rum. It's my little sign thing there. She's very giving and she's kind of like a guardian angel, I'd say. I have this friend, Max, who's actually my best friend, who has kind of become part of our family. He definitely has had a difficult home life. She helped put him through school and all that stuff. So she's always just looked out for him, which has been great. I mean, he's definitely had struggles.
She took a big interest in my life, actually. So she really kind of helped guide me through in a mentor way, like a lot of hard times in my life, a lot of good times in my life. And so she's been, like a mom to me, for the last 15 years. So I'm really grateful to have her in my life.
It's like she'll always go the extra mile for the people that she loves, especially her kids.
We're all sitting in our homes and she's doing a lot more video calls. But one of the funny things she decided to do was to pop into people's video conferences. She'll just surprise them and jump in on their video call. And she made a point to do this throughout the company. People would just be in their normal Teams call and then, oh, here's Jenny. And she got to talk to them and encourage them. It was a way for her to connect with different offices and people.
It's hilarious. She'll call me sometimes and say, I was just Facebook messaging one of the workers and he says this, and I'm like, what? She literally has relationships with all of these folks, and as a result of that, they're just deathly loyal to her.
It's this common thread about her that they love her because she cares and gives you that attention that when she's talking to you, it matters, even though she's got, issues around the globe to worry about.
We have great employees here who are loyal and wake up every day excited about what they do. I mean, I get excited because the employees are excited about it too.
You just root for her because she really works so hard, but she has such a human spirit. I've learned to always be the same person and transparent and wonderful to everyone. You be yourself however you are, because this is me, and that's how she is. It's this is me, and everyone loves her because she doesn't try to be someone else. We all work so hard because we see her working so hard. She's just really fun, and I'm really fortunate to work for her.
As a friend of mine said, when you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, and I love what I do.
Throw in an I love you, Mom, or anything like that? Love you, Mom.